Welcome to Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. You don't need to be a close follower of the news to know this. All you need to do is pick up your phone and call your primary care physician, or you'll know this if you call a consultant for if you need a consultation for a surgeon or perhaps another type of medical person. You'll know this when you pick up the phone and you'll find out there's a shortage of medical professions in New Mexico, because you'll know that you can't get an appointment for 2, 3, 4, or 5 months, if even that. At least that's kind of been my experience, and I bet it's been your experience too. So you know this, so you're saying, Diane, why are you doing a TV program about a shortage of medical professionals in New Mexico? Doctors, primary care physicians, surgeons. Well, because there is an alternative. There's an alternative that we're going to talk about. Going to your primary care is one thing, but if you have the number 2 and number 3 reasons that people go to their primary care physician, that would be back pain, joint pain, well, there's an alternative, and there's not a shortage. So please stay with us as we talk to Dr. Patrick Nuzzo with naturopathic medicine right after this.
Hey America, now there's a place where we can join our voice, Real America's Voice. Real America's Voice is coming to a town near you with a grassroots approach, bringing the real voice of America together. Real America's Voice is growing our family of networks across the country, and soon you could be part of that change. Download the Real America's Voice app and join other Americans just like you across the country, coming together for real change.
Well, if you're like me as well, instead of picking up and dialing your doctor, you know that you're hurting. I'm sitting here, I've got joint pain, I've got back pain, all of these things. Well, guess what? I have Dr. Patrick Nuzzo in my studio again, and he's going to talk about not only my pain, but your pain. Thank you so much for being a part of our program again, Dr. Patrick Nuzzo.
Such a pleasure to always come here and spend time with you and talk with you about healthcare and about, just what's going on in the world, Diane.
Exactly. What's going on is a lot of pain.
Yeah.
You're the founder of the Southwest University of Naturopathic Medicine, and we're going to share with you, if you haven't heard about naturopathic medicine, and we're going to tell you all about it and how it can treat those number 2 and number 3 reasons people go to their primary care. And also to know that here in New Mexico, we're fortunate to have it licensed, and also that practice is licensed in Illinois and newly licensed in Nevada.
Nevada.
And a lot of it's due to this gentleman's care, his care for his patients, his care for New Mexicans, and that they don't hurt.
Yeah, I've been here now for 20 years. My partner, Dr. LaVista, and I started the school and the clinic 20 years ago. Naturopathic medicine, a lot of people don't really know about it, but it started right alongside chiropractic medicine, Diane. The founders were together. D.D. Palmer started chiropractic medicine. Oakley Smith started naturopathic medicine. Oakley Smith actually wrote the book, Modernized Chiropractic, that D.D. Palmer built the entire chiropractic profession on, right? So the philosophy, the educations of chiropractors and naturopaths are very, very similar. What's different is what broke them apart, okay? D.D. Palmer asked Oakley Smith to come in and prove what D.D. Palmer called the subluxation theory in chiropractic. That's what it's based on. And it's the alignment of the spine, the proper alignment of bony structure in the spine. And if that alignment comes out, it subluxates. You then have to treat it to put it back into alignment. Well, chiropractors will normally use a high velocity adjusting technique to push that bony structure back into alignment. Well, Oakley believed that yes, the bones have to go back into alignment, but in order to do that, you've got to treat the connective tissue that pulls that bony structure out of alignment. So naturopaths are connective tissue specialists. And he developed...
Connective tissue, tell us what connective tissue is.
Well, connective tissue is 3 things. Ligaments hold bone to bone.
Ligaments hold bone to bone.
Right, so the vertebrae above, the vertebrae below, 17 ligaments will hold that into or out of alignment, right? Tendons hold muscle to bone. That's connective tissue. But the most prevalent connective tissue out there is called interstitial tissue or fascia, right? So there's a layer of muscle, a layer of fascia, a layer of muscle, a layer of fascia. Fascia should be viscous and gooey, right? So when you turn your neck or you move your shoulder, those muscles should glide over that viscous, gooey fascia. Stress, dehydration, sitting positions, sleeping positions, all tend to dry that fascia out, okay? Repetitive motions. When that fascia dries, it loses its viscosity and it turns to glue and it forms those knots. How many of us have knots in their shoulders, knots in their neck? That's knots in the connective tissue. So when you're moving, the muscles aren't rolling, they're acting like fulcrums and pulling bony structure out of alignment.
Repeat
right?
that again, repeat that when they're not.
When they're not gliding over each other, the
Right.
muscles, it sticks and then it moves and acts like a fulcrum, pulling bony structure out of alignment, right? So just to go and adjust the bony structure without taking the findings and finding where the tension is and releasing that tension for alignment doesn't really, make a healing for, you can't get back to the cause, right? Oakley Smith developed something called chartology and chartosis, okay? And our school has devoted its mission to validating the science of Oakley Smith, because naturopathic medicine is scientific manipulative therapy. By taking findings on the spine and then applying treatments based on those findings, you're able to scientifically prove that naturopathic medicine or naturopathic treatments will bring bony structure into alignment and will reduce inflammation. And we are now using ultrasound technology in our school and in our research papers that we ultrasound what we call the ligotites that tighten the bony structure down. And when you see those ligotites, you see the inflammation build in those areas. And when you release those ligotites, you see the bony structure come back into alignment, but also release of inflammation. What is inflammation? It's pain, right? Always pain and inflammation. So we treat neuromusculoskeletal pain without pharmaceutical medication. And in your introduction, you talked about the number 2 and 3 reason people go and see medical doctors. And that is joint pain and back pain, okay? And my question is, why, okay? Why? If you're
Why do we have this, or why do we go to a primary care physician?
Why would you go to, why go to a primary care physician for muscle pain? Why go to a primary care physician for back pain, okay?
Well, because they'll probably give you a drug.
Well, they're not equipped to do hands-on manual therapy, and that's what needs to be done. If we could take the number 2 and 3 reason off of a medical doctor's out of his office and get them to manual therapists where they can really get some help, whether it's a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, a physical therapist, a naturopath, right? There's lots and lots and lots of manual therapists that are very highly qualified.
If we took those out, if they didn't call the doctor and make an appointment, then I could get in faster.
Yeah, you're going to want let's treat metabolic conditions, right? Let's the heart problems, the digestive problems. There's metabolic conditions that medical doctors are skilled and trained to treat. They're not skilled and trained to treat back pain. I'm sorry, it's just not what they do. They diagnose it. They'll send them to a physical therapist. They'll give them medication. We've had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people overdosing on opioids because they've gone and got medication, opioid medication for their pain, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We've saved so many surgeries and we've saved so many people off of their medication woes by treating the pain manually and helping these people out. Now, in New Mexico here, we get great support, right? Every major insurance company in New Mexico covers naturopathic treatments and really most manual therapy. And even the governor here, God bless her, Governor Lujan Grisham, she, for all the state employees, made it possible for them to come and see a manual therapist and waive their deductible to do that. Because if they have a deductible of $500 to go and see somebody outside of primary care, right? They have to see a specialist. It's usually a deductible very high. We're considered specialists, as chiropractors are, as acupuncturists are. So she's waived a deductible so people can get directly to manual therapists, which is saving a ton of visits to the emergency room and urgent care and visits to medical doctors who, again, are going to wind up giving them some kind of medication to treat that pain, which is a high risk for addictive behavior. So, we can really we can curtail the shortage of doctors if we utilize the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of manual therapists that are licensed in the state of New Mexico and really all over the country. It's not just New Mexico. There's a shortage everywhere. I just went through the Nevada legislature and we got the Naturopathic Practice Act passed there. Introduced it in January. The governor signed it last month
And that means
into
that
law.
naturopathic medicine is licensed?
Naturopathic medicine will be licensed in the state of Nevada. There'll be a license to provide that a naturopath could go into Nevada and practice there, get insurance there, get malpractice there. And we have plans of branching our school from New Mexico to Nevada and opening a branch there and educating a lot of manual therapists. Because when I went through the legislature there, we went through the House, or they call it the Assembly there, and the Senate with no opposition. We had no votes on either side, on the Republicans and the Democrats. They all supported this because it makes sense. We have a huge problem, a huge shortage. We have a huge opioid problem. When I was there and lobbying, I get a lot of the lobbyists who had all the unions in Nevada, the food workers union, all the construction unions. They're losing so many of their workers to pain, because they go and they'll get pain, they'll go and get on these medications, and they're worthless to work. Some of them get addicted, some of them die from it, So we need a manual medicine answer. We have the answer, we need the option. We need these insurance companies, and we need the states to legislate, like Governor Lujan Grisham did. She waived the deductibles.
You worked through this here in New Mexico
20 years ago.
20 years ago through our legislature.
Right, 20 years ago. It took me 4 sessions to get it through when I did it, because we were pretty much unknown. We did not have a school at the time. We didn't have an accredited school at the time, right? Since we opened our school, we went through the accreditation process. We're the first and only naturopathic school to have an accreditation by an accreditor recognized by the U.S. Department of Education, okay? That's going to put us on the map more and more and more.
How did you get it through so quickly in Nevada compared to New Mexico?
Well, I believe it's because timeliness, number one. There's a healthcare shortage in Nevada. I believe, the school and the accredited school that I, kind of dangled as a carrot to bring it into the state, should we get the license, helped a lot. And, it makes sense. Why would you not do hands-on medicine instead of pharmaceutical medication for manual therapy? I mean, it's proven. Hip replacement, okay? Let's talk about a hip replacement. And do you know what a hip replacement would cost? $40,000.
Oh, 40?
Okay.
$40,000.
$40,000. Think about this. If you had somebody come and get a treatment a week, okay, at $100, it would cost $5,000 a year to treat somebody. And in 7 years of treatments, okay, you would have $40,000. But it usually, if you get somebody in who's having hip pain that's not bone on bone, right? We've saved so many surgeries by treating these people 3 to 6 to 10 times, right? $1,000 worth of treatment, and people get relief, and people get exercises to do, and people get tips on how to eat and how to take care of themselves, So it's just a whole different form of medicine that needs to be in the forefront, okay? It needs to be parallel to where, we're integrative with medicine. The medical doctor should be turning to the manual therapists to get this done.
And you said here in New Mexico, most insurance companies cover it, or all?
Every major insurance company in New Mexico has some kind of coverage for manual therapy, okay? All different, all across the board, but like for this example, the city of Santa Fe has insurance for all their employees. Sandia National Labs, Los Alamos National Labs, all the teachers, they all have plans that contain coverage for manual therapists, including naturopaths, right?
It's including naturopaths.
Right. So every major insurance company, Presbyterian, United, Blue Cross, they all cover naturopathic care. You know, it's usually through the employer, right? It's not across the board on individual plans.
Okay.
But
And
through
Medicare?
Medicaid,
Medicare?
Medicare will not cover because it's a national program. Now, Medicare will cover chiropractic treatment. It won't cover acupuncture. It won't cover naturopathic. And Medicare will also cover physical therapy, right? But physical therapy is more rehabilitative medicine versus trying to treat the cause of what's bringing the pain, right? Naturopathic medicine, chiropractic medicine, acupuncturists, we try to go at the cause of pain, not just treat the symptoms.
And the cause with
Spinal
the fascia,
malalignment.
The fascia being dried up, is the repetition, is doing something incorrectly? Is it lifting a box wrong? Is it doing your work, washing floors, vacuuming in a bad position?
It can be all of that, right? It can be all of that. But you see, if the fascia is bound, it will pull on malaligned bony structure.
So how do you not have the fascia bound? By keeping it hydrated,
stretching, and you have to have, if it's bound, it has to become unbound. It has to be treated. You know, you can't just, it's going to go away, right? You get some treatments, you get that fascia to let go, you get it to stop pulling on the bony structure that it's pulling out of the bony structure out of alignment by releasing the tension in there, and you get somebody back to a healing process, right?
But how can we avoid it in the first place, Dr.
Well,
Nuzzo?
stretching, hydration.
Stretching,
you know, before work, right? I tell people, you know, people sit at a computer all day long. They're here all day, or they're at their texts all day long, right?
Let me see the text again.
I watch my son. He's like, they got the world just in front of them, right? But you've got to stretch. You can't be like this all day long. I tell people, get the big exercise balls. Get on those balls and stretch backwards over the ball and stretch out the spine. Make sure you hydrate. People don't drink enough water. If you don't drink enough water, the tissue starts to shrink. You take a sponge, wet it, wring it out, put it on the sink, go back tomorrow. What's it look like? Hard and crusty, right?
Yeah. And that's our fascia. That's our fascia.
That's our tissue. That's our fascia. It gets hardened, and the fascia turns into tendon, and the tendon turns into ligaments, right? It pulls. They're all a network of connective tissue that holds the bony structure in alignment. You know, if there wasn't connective tissue, everything would just fall into a big puddle, right? It surrounds all your organs. It surrounds all your bones. It surrounds, you know, muscles.
So could this be as simple to prevent it? To do the stretching, to be hydrated, to move. I mean, I'm moving. I'm thinking just movement of these areas.
Absolutely.
To keep it, I guess, the blood running through the fascia to keep it.
And keep range of motion open. You want to keep proper range of motion. You want to get, you know, free range of motion. And you can do it by stretching, but, you know, you probably will need help. If you want to stay active, I mean, I noticed this, you know, I'm going to be 70 years old this year, Diane, okay? And things take a little longer to heal, right? But I've never taken a prescription medication in my life, all right? I believe food is medicine. Food is absolutely medicine, you know? And I learned that at a very young age, you know, because my uncle was a naturopath, all right? And I grew up around it. So as a kid, I knew if I didn't feel good, I went over to my uncle's office and I got a treatment, and he gave me some herbs, and he told me what to eat or what not to eat. So I was, you know, really groomed at a very young age to do this, right? You know, I have a passion for manual medicine. I have a passion for anti-inflammatory medicine. You know, I live the lifestyle, and, you know, I really try to get people to understand it. And it's very, very simple, you know.
And
take care of yourself.
And at this stage of your life, you want to continue sharing this with others by expanding your Southwest University for Naturopathic Medicine, not just here in New Mexico, but to Nevada. And I've said to you, are you not going to slow down? You're continuing to care for others?
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of my DNA, Diane. I mean, I don't, you know, I did not come to New Mexico and plan on opening a school. I did not come to New Mexico and plan on getting naturopaths licensed here. Okay, I'll share the story, right? I came to New Mexico to do a retreat center. I bought a property down in the southwest outside of Silver City in the Gila National Forest. And at the time, I had my practice in Illinois, and I was in practice in Illinois for 20 years at the time, right? And my practice was treating adult survivors of childhood trauma. That's where my practice went, okay? I started getting referrals. My daughter's mother was traumatized as a child, so I learned a lot, about what it did to the body and how it affected the body. And I started getting referrals from therapists, and my practice just turned that way, right? So I bought this retreat center in the southern part of the state, and we were bringing groups of patients from Illinois once a month to the retreat center down in Silver City. And the weeks I wasn't treating, because I'd come back and forth to my clinic in Illinois, to my practice or my retreat center down in southern New Mexico every other week. And the weeks I didn't bring the group, I was treating patients. And one afternoon I got a phone call in that office, and someone on the other line introduced himself to me. Hi, my name is Benny. I broke my neck in a car accident a couple years ago. I've been everywhere. I heard you could help me, right? So the next time I was there, this beautiful old New Mexican man, t-shirt, overalls, walks in. Hi, I'm Benny, right? I started treating Benny twice a week, every other week when I was there. After about 3 months, he walked into my office. I mean, he was getting better and better. About 3 months, he walks into my office. He looks me in the eyes. He says, Doc, I'm sleeping through the night. I'm taking hardly any pain medication. I feel like I got my life back. We need to get you licensed here in New Mexico. And I'm, what's Benny talking about? Well, Benny turned out to be Senator Ben Altamirano. Okay, he was the president pro tem of the Senate at the time. I had no clue. He said, let's introduce a bill, right? Wow. So in the year 2000, we introduced the Naturopathic Practice Act.
Year 2000.
Right, I came up, started in Benny's office, set up my table, started treating people, right? It took me 4 sessions to get the bill through. Okay.
And at that time, you were still practicing in Illinois?
I was still practicing in Illinois, coming back and forth. And we got the bill passed in 2004. Governor Richardson signed it into law. And, when we were at the bill signing, and Richardson was signing, Benny looked at me and he says, you need to bring a school here. And I thought, okay, I had no idea.
Wisdom, fantastic wisdom.
I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but Dr. LaVista and I were partners at the time. We opened the clinic, and we decided the only way we're going to do this is if we accredit a school, because the profession is 126 years old and nobody ever accredited a school. So,
but there are other schools around the nation.
There's only one other school in Illinois. Yeah, and there's many schools in Europe. Okay, many schools in Europe. So we went through the process of getting accredited. We found an accreditor who could work with us. It took us 11 years to get it accredited. But
and you're still going and bringing all this now to Nevada.
Now it's we should be able to really, because it only took me 1 session in Nevada to get it done, because we have a track record, we have a history, and the need is here now. The need is here. I mean, people need manual therapy. I mean, the stress is unbelievable, and this stuff and it's just, people need to be touched. People need to get manual therapy to get realigned.
We're going to have you on another show to discuss the types of manual therapy for neuromuscular pain, but also you're going to show kind of an example of what you do in the office, what your doctors do in the next practice that we discuss, because as you say, the need is there. There's no lack of stress in our society.
no
especially with this inflation. And inflation has caused a lot.
Well, the pandemic has really changed this world, And I think, a lot of it in healthcare, I think it's making people understand they have to take care of themselves more. I really do. I see a shift in consciousness with people. People are trying to take care of themselves more. They've wanted, I think they saw how frail their health is and how frail health is and how fast it could be taken away. If you'd noticed, there was no real talk about innate immunity in this entire pandemic, right? We have an innate immunity that, if taken care of, will fight off viruses and fight off disease, right? And we came so fast and so quick with getting everybody vaccinated and which, it was a world thing, it's great, but we lost. Food is medicine. We've got to understand that. And that's the message that I want to bring out to people as well. And people are ready to hear it.
Because they experienced that, they saw that firsthand, and as you've mentioned, how frail they are.
Yeah, they felt defenseless, They felt a lot of fear, a lot of panic about
Even
health.
though we have a defense.
We do.
A natural.
And people have to understand that they could work to build that. They don't just need to take vaccinations, right? But build your innate immunity along with it, right? And that's lost. And you don't get it if you're eating the traditional American diet, right? The standard American diet, they call it SAD, right? It's, the
Standard American diet.
We're the most overfed and undernourished country in the world. Obesity is rampant. Well, there's no nutrients left in the soils anymore. We need to eat the foods that are grown organically in restored regenerative soils, because then we're getting foods that have nutrients in them. We're feeding ourselves. The soil is getting taken care of. It's capturing carbon, So we're healing ourselves, we're healing the planet, right? And it's really an important piece. And these millennials are grabbing it, I mean, they are. They get it. They're taking care. They're making changes, that I think, they're hard to take, but they're important. They're important shifts right now. And they're, I think, everything that they're doing, the companies they're supporting, they're all out there helping, right? You ever watch Shark Tank?
No.
Well,
it makes me too nervous.
Yeah,
I have these ideas.
But
on the next show, we'll talk about Shark Tank. We'll talk about SAD.
Yeah.
Our Americans are eating. We're
Yeah.
eating a lot, but not getting the nutrition.
Overfed and undernourished.
We'll try to give some more inspiration.
Cool.
So thank you, Dr. Patrick
Yeah,
Nuzzo,
it's fun.
who is the founder of the university, the Southwest University of Naturopathic Medicine. He'll be back with more tips for us to improve our life starting today. We'll be back next time. Bye-bye.
The New Mexico Modern Child Support Family Program works to benefit both parents for the purpose of improving children's lives. It provides the basics of child support, but goes further by helping parents step up to find better job opportunities that get them back on track to paying their monthly child support obligation. Find out how the Child Support Step Up program can help your modern family. Contact New Mexico Child Support today to learn more.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinnewater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program or to purchase a copy of any Issues and Answers program, visit sunbroadcasting.org or call us at 505-345-1991.